points are relevant. We can also include several other aspects which from personal experiences, which we would like to, share with people who should avoid certain aspects of the struggle that we had to go through. I mean, there's no comparison between challenges faced 40 years ago versus now. No internet, no telephones, no mobile phones, no suitcases with wheels. So all of that is the area and time when we existed and started to export, and when made in India was something nobody wanted to look at. So this is in the late 70s and early 80s.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all the aspiring entrepreneurs and exporters joining us for the India Exports International Business Week 2024. This initiative is a pivotal step towards empowering India's small and medium enterprises to capture opportunities in the global market. This webinar series has been curated specifically for Indian entrepreneurs across key sectors and will be available on YouTube as well. By providing sector focused knowledge within a short span, our goal is to equip participants of this program with essential skills and insights to thrive as exporters in their fields. Today, our focus lies on the auto components sector, which forms a critical backbone of India's manufacturing industry and contributes significantly to exports of the country. This sector spans a wide range of products, including engine parts, electrical components, suspension systems, and precision assemblies, demonstrating India's capacity for both innovation and quality in manufacturing. The international market for auto components is vast, driven by advancements in electric vehicles, smart technologies, and increasing demand for high performance and cost efficient parts. Indian MSMEs are well positioned to leverage this demand due to their competitive pricing, skilled workforce, and growing reputation for quality production. However, challenges such as adhering to international quality standards, meeting sustainability requirements, Navigating tariff structures and managing supply chain complexities must be addressed to tap into this potential. This webinar aims to provide actionable strategies and insights to help Indian auto components manufacturers and exporters thrive in global markets. Our panel of industry experts and seasoned exporters will share valuable experiences and practical advices to guide you through these complexities of international trade in this sector. With that, for today's session, we encourage you to participate actively, ask your questions, and take full advantage of the expertise shared by our speakers and panelists today. With that, now I would like to invite our esteemed panelists, speakers, and moderator to lead us through this enlightening session under India Exports International Business Week 2024 on the export opportunities available for the MSMEs from auto components sector. So with that, I would like to invite Mr. Kiron Chopra, Chairman and MD, Chopra Retec Rubber Products Limited. Welcome, sir. Mr. Atul Mukhi, Managing Director, Cosma India Private and Independent Director of Haryana Vidyut Prasaran Nigam Limited. Welcome, sir. Ms. Poonam Sahay, Director, Marut Techno Tools Private Limited. Welcome, ma'am. Mr. Ashish Agrawal, Business Development Manager, Delux Bearings. Welcome, sir. Mr. Kannan K, Area Sales Manager for Sales and Solutions India, UPS. Welcome, sir. And our moderator for the session, Mr. Vinod Kumar, President, India SME Forum. Sir, we are waiting to listen to this panel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Najma, for that. And a very warm welcome to all the viewers that are here on the topic. And a very, very wholehearted welcome to all the panelists that have joined in. I can see Atulji is still in, I think, in Switzerland. So he's joined us from there. Kiranji has joined us. Ashish is there and Poonam ma'am is there, apart from Kannan. So a warm welcome to all my friends. Well, we know the fact that the Indian auto components industry, after a lot of toil, hard work, and a lot of collaborations between India and international enterprises from Japan, Germany, Korea, and all of them, has established itself as a global hub for high quality, cost effective automotive component manufacturing. There is a huge demand for sustainable mobility around the world, especially also in India, where we are still looking at very carefully about the shift towards electric vehicles, connected technologies, as well as the infrastructural concerns. But my feeling is that Indian auto component MSMEs or enterprises are very well placed to tap emerging global opportunities. I've also seen situations where Indian component manufacturers have now gone online on B2C, which is like selling just components and parts throughout the world to various people, directly, in spite of, just saying that we are OEM manufacturers of the part and selling it directly on various niche websites around the world. And obviously, we have Kannan here who can tell us more about that. We still have some challenges in terms of meeting international quality standards. There's also the environmental regulations that are coming back and forth, and the fact that we still need to go a step further when it comes to leveraging and integrating into global supply chains. I would first like to go to Chopra Sahab, who's been at the forefront of this entire export discussion. I mean, he's been a member of the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce for almost, I think two and a half decades, apart from the engineering export, chemical export promotion councils. And, I'd like to know from him Chopra Saab, how do you find this export bit shaping up for enterprises that are into auto components primarily, and obviously the related segments of business?
Thank you, Vinodji, and once again to all the panelists, a very warm welcome. I think Mr. Mukhi is in Switzerland, so it's morning for him. So, nonetheless, the automotive sector in India is at a very, very sweet spot. I mean, the component sector, we have heard of challenges that are being faced by European manufacturers, especially in the EV sector, surprisingly. And of late, we've heard about layoffs, both by Volkswagen and the other big majors. This, in a way, is a reflection of the very high cost of manufacturing, as well as the lack of demand for their highly priced products in global markets. On the flip side, India is probably at the infant side of development of the EV segment, which the Chinese have kind of threatened to the European markets as well as the American markets. And India, as a low-cost EV manufacturer, is probably emerging as a niche area for the development of the EV sector in India, especially in the two-wheeler sector. We have actually multiplied manifold. Because of the lack of charging infrastructure, I think the pace of growth will still not be as anticipated when we embarked in the area of EV manufacturing, especially in the four-wheeler segment. In terms of the capability of Indian manufacturers to address the needs of global markets, I feel today both Europe and America are finding it very challenging to economically produce or manufacture products in that part of the world. India is, apart from that China +1, it's now Europe +1, and perhaps even USA +1 option that India will configure itself into. And on the same lines, again, the market could be divided into two segments, the OEM and the aftermarket. The OEM segment in particular is more challenging for Indian companies because of just-in-time deliveries and logistic issues. And especially smaller companies, they can't be opening warehouses in every geographical location. So the aftermarket in itself also is a huge market for component manufacturers. We are looking at 1 billion cars that drive on the planet. We are looking at Indian component manufacturing exports and the market size being in the vicinity of $75 billion, of which export, I think, forms about 21 billion. So the scope and size of the market is immense. Of late, I don't know if any of the panelists would have noticed, a lot of manufacturing is gradually now shifting out of countries like Europe and England, the UK, into the Middle East area. So Middle East is going to be the next big manufacturing hub in the next 5 to 10 years to come. And India has an opportunity to service that part of the geography as well. So yes, by and large, I do feel that the scope and size of the global market for Indian manufacturers is immense. We have upgraded ourselves to world-class manufacturing standards. There are certain very, very strict compliance requirements now for manufacturers, especially in the ESG segment, where environment governance and social governance is also a very integral part of the manufacturing ethos of companies in India. And I think we have all kind of geared up to that challenge and are complying with the global standards for manufacturing. So yes, we are in a very sweet spot, as I mentioned earlier, and the opportunity will continue to grow. It's only about the Indian companies' capability of grabbing these opportunities and entrenching themselves in global markets. And anywhere there is an automobile driving on the road is a market for component manufacturers.
Excellent. In fact, we also have Atulji here. And Atulji, I mean, most people know Cosmo India is India's largest wheel balancing weights manufacturer, and supplies to, I mean, almost every big automotive manufacturer. And they are reputable, highly reputable, market leader as far as balancing weights go. So Atulji, you are in Switzerland, and I'm hoping that you are there for a holiday, which may not be the case. You may be there for business, but we keep on, all of us as entrepreneurs, we tend to continuously work on opening newer markets, accessing the huge potential that India has. What is your take on the opportunity in front of us, and what do we need to do in order to make it happen for all of us?
Thank you, Vimalji, giving me and reaching me out to call me on this webinar. And I'm pleased to address the opportunities in the automotive sector. We at Cosmo India have been in the domestic market. We are the leaders in our component. But now my son, who has joined the business, he has taken the initiative to go into the export market, and he's pretty studied the market, and he says that there is a more opportunity of the exports rather than in the domestic sector, because the global market for the Indian market is somewhere around $56.5 billion for the domestic market, but the international market is much above than that, and we can be a market leader in the supplying the auto components in the international market through B2C as well as through the dealers and distributor network also. The main reason for such kind of opportunity is the support being extended by the government for exporting the components worldwide. The quality of the labor, the quality of the infrastructure, which is improving every day.
Atulji, are you there? I think there's a little bad patch of connection there. We can't hear Atulji. I'm sure he'll join back, or we'll get him back. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go over to Ashish ji. Now, Ashish is an extremely experienced. Atulji, we are unable to hear
National
you.
certificate.
Sorry, we lost Atulji again, I think.
Some connectivity issue happened. No, I'm
Yes,
back. Yeah, there was a minor connect because I am on my way from Switzerland to Austria. I'm on my way.
Okay. Not a problem, sir. I'll come back to you. I was also asking,
No
Ashish,
worries.
Ashish ji is also based in Spain currently. He looks after export
Okay.
development. Now, Ashish, what I wanted to check with you is, you have looked at various markets for
No,
Delux bearings, and you have looked at a lot of regions that are opening up. Like Atulji said, that there is a huge potential. Maybe and that doesn't seem likely in the domestic market compared to what is happening in the international market for Indian producers or manufacturers. So, what do you feel are the most potential markets for Indian micro, small, medium entrepreneur exporters? And apart from the fact that there will be certain significant growth opportunities or potential, what are also the challenges or the disadvantages that are there for Indian MSMEs?
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for inviting me, and a warm welcome to all the panelists and attendees. I would like to share my experience based on my in Deluxe bearings. Basically, we cover most of the European American brands, and If we particularly look at our company, we cater to like 6 powertrain manufacturers, which cover about 85% of the global brands. So while the advantages MSME has is the transparency and the continuous learning with innovation attitude, which makes them different from other companies or other in the world, I would say. And uh, the products that adhere to the higher safety standards, which are imperative to meet global standards, this gives basically a customer an assurance of the product and the company competence. If I look after the countries specifically, like, USA, with the current government form, we particularly have an advantage with our competitors on the basis of tariffs. The good point is that India has a low cost, but with a very good quality. And some of these countries, like they prefer to have sets rather than replacing the small components, which gives you a better value. I believe there are challenges like safety standards, packaging, but I think if you are thorough in these challenges, you have a good opportunity. While we speak about USA, we also have Europe, obviously, where like major countries like Germany, Italy, and France, where you see if the total import that Germany has is close to $46 billion. And the better advantage for us is the bigger companies, the auto companies or the private label companies are looking forward for support in terms of the current business that they are handling, because they would like to shift it to new technologies. So these are some of the advantages we get because we give high precision and innovative components. There are few challenges, right, like REACH regulations. There are PFAS, where the European regulations are to avoid some of the minerals or that are harmful for the environment. There are sustainability requirements. But I think with the coming technology, like investing in solar and all those stuff, and moving from some material to the other material, doing some R&Ds, these are some of the challenges that we can face and come over it. We always talk about USA, Germany, Europe, but there is Africa as well, because African market is something which is less saturated compared to Europe and North America. Because I believe that Africa's growing middle class and demand for affordable vehicles are growing. The only challenge that we can see over there is the lack of unified market and varied local regulations, which we have to manage. If we move on to different sector like Brazil, Mexico, or Argentina, where the expansion of domestic automotive production, particularly in countries like Brazil and Mexico, is increasing. Because I believe, like from China, the companies are also looking forward towards India and Mexico as well, because of the low cost labor they get over there. Uh, the advantage that Indian auto component exporters have is that they can tap into the supply chain that feed US and Canada from Mexico and Brazil, and this is where we can get an advantage. But obviously, Brazil has a higher tariff and trade barriers. That is also a challenge for us. In order to, as per my experience, like if I talk about the quality standards, in order to comply with stringent international standards, we should always apply for ISO and VDA. And in order to also tackle with logistic and supply chain issues, ensure you have a tie-up with some warehouses or custom warehouses or custom bonded warehouses. And for us, if I talk particularly with about Delux, we also have a supply chain financing solutions, which gives you a leverage on the cash flows, basically. And the major challenge is how to tap into the market that we are unaware about. How do we increase our knowledge? The best thing would be to have an association with someone. Like if I talk about Delux, we have an association with FERSA, which is a Spanish company. So collaborate with the larger international players and take advantages of the free trade agreements and the government schemes, like in terms of PCFCs and all those stuff. So yeah, I think these are some of the countries we can tap in.
Excellent, Ashish ji. I'm going to go over to Poonam ma'am. Poonam ma'am, some of us may know, is a first generation entrepreneur. She has set up 2 companies, is a full-time manufacturer from 2012, and has created a host of import substitute products that meet international standards and now is also exporting around the world. So, okay, Poonamji, ma'am, just give me a minute. I mean, Atul sir has just put up a hand. So, Atulji wants to come in here. Yes, yes, Atulji.
Yeah, Vimalji, I left in between. I had a little more
Please
highlight
continue.
on this highlight on the matter I left. Sorry, I lost connection in between.
No,
See,
no, doesn't matter.
the present in the present scenario, the we need to appeal to the government that they are extending lot of support to the uh, exports for the auto components for the engineering exports also. But the procedure what being adopted is little more tricky and little more difficult for the entrepreneurs to get involved in it. We must for this platform we must give a knock to the commerce ministry by which we should simplify the procedures of extending the support to the industry. That is where we are really need to do something. And another thing that the strength of the Indian industry is the tool rooms and the engineering background of the uh, Indian entrepreneurs, which helps us to produce the component at a international quality standard with better quality. So to this encashment, everybody knows can be done, and the global confidence has increased on the Indian market due to this particular reason in the last 1 decade, and this encashment needs to be ripened at the right stage before the other countries like one of my friends highlighted that Middle East is coming up as a manufacturing hub. Before other competitors countries grow in the trade, we must reap our strength. That's what I can be of in this remark that by 2026, the only exports of auto components is expected to be $30 billion from Indian market. This is the anticipation, and to achieve this, we must tighten our belts, and all the entrepreneurs must catch this opportunity. Thank you, Vimalji.
Thank you. I mean, that was Atulji, reminding us about the numbers and the fact that there is a huge potential. Poonamji, I'm going to come back to you. We had Atulji, Kiran sir, Ashish, everybody talk about the fact that there is a potential, and then there are certain challenges and threats also, and certain opportunities which we need to take care of. What has been your experience so far, and where are you now focusing on in terms of sectors, in terms of countries, and in terms of product lines for export? Ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah, this is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
So a warm welcome to all panelists and Mr. Vinodji. We are actually in auto components in every market. I think especially it is fast growing this in export. So we are also facing the challenge also. Some restricted, you can say the regulations also this there. So in terms of this, we are just quality. We are giving the stress on the quality in a production line and auto components, especially in the market of Europe and North America. And some part of the small country, the undeveloped country also, the Asian countries, you can say this. So we are getting there, and because they are giving the order to us actually due to the the cost effectiveness, then the delivery, then quality. That's why getting every time we are increasing the export also. Most the aim is mine that we have to be produce this product to catering, first of all, this within India. Within India, we have first to, because we have some commitment to the customer. They have, because they're all customer and this OEM in the automobile industries, they have. So there is commitment to, they will take from us only, because the technology is very precision material, this one. We are making this die component sheet metal,
Yes.
this and they all are using in the automobile sector. So after that, when we are fulfilling this customer in India, then we are going to the export market there. And the export market nowadays, through the MSME, they are giving the so many hand holdings, and they are supporting. I can say that also this connected to this online, this one, Alibaba and India Mart. So we are touching this international buyer in very good manners and getting the this. So something is like that, but still it need to some revival like that. When we are making the product, some product is my substitute from the import material. So getting the trouble is there, means they stuck in this customs. They are taking a lot of time. So
Understand,
the
ma'am.
request to this Indian government, ki they have to be shorten the period, then can we and also achieve the more and more in the market. So we are stressing and we are focusing on the only production line, how to automate these things and quality.
Ji, ma'am. In fact, I'll just go take the cue here and go forward to Kannan, sir. Now, Kannanji, he has been working in the express industry for very long, and obviously that means he also has insight on what is moving, how are exports growing or not, and whether there is a certain amount of affinity for the world to buy from India and Indian exporters. So, Mr. Kannan, what do you feel? We've been talking about a lot of the newer channels, including e-commerce and B2B e-commerce and B2C e-commerce, both. Do you think that has any value specifically for manufacturers from the auto component industry?
Yes, of course. Thanks, Vinodji, for bringing in me. I must start with thanking the India SME Forum for for such a wonderful initiative. And we wish them continued success in their journey to enable Indian exporters, particularly the MSME sector, to take their products out around the globe. Yeah, quick introduction about myself. I'm associated with UPS Express, as Mr. Vinod rightly mentioned. I've been working in the express industry for a very long time. Over the last 2 decades, there's been a significant change in the way or in the scope of express organizations, which I will cover just in a few minutes. But before that, I would also like to say extremely happy to have this distinguished panel today for our audience. Yeah, Mr. Kiran ji, Poonam ma'am, Atul ji, Ashish, thank you so much. Yeah. I think UPS as an organization, I think we play a critical role in making these dreams eventually get to realization. Yeah, what we believe is that we're moving our world, forward by delivering what matters. Now, be it an SME or an MSME, he's overcome a number of these challenges, particularly the go-to-market challenges that we have, the entry barriers which Ashish touched about, the customs and regulatory challenges which just Ms. Poonam touched about. I think we as an organization continually strive to help the exporter overcome these challenges and try to make trade, especially international trade, easy for us. What we have seen in the recent past, when I said that the role of organizations like ours has evolved, is based on the immense amount of challenges that the MSME sector, particularly the exporters here, had to go through. All of us here in this room also will agree that the kind of challenges, particularly the logistics challenges that the world has seen, is unprecedented. Yeah, be it from the COVID, subsequent to the COVID, I think when the industry got a little bit of, started looking forward to things with hope, then came the geopolitical issues, the Ukraine issues, and subsequent to that, we've had the red sheet issues. Which all of this, what does all of this mean? It means that the turnaround time for goods to reach the shelves or to the hands of the customer has actually, gone twice or thrice up. The cost of getting these goods into these markets have also risen significantly. Yeah, but I think India as the MSME sector or the India auto component sector is known for its resilience, right? We continue to fight back and therefore clock a very strong CAGR, both in terms of the domestic as well as in terms of the international markets. Yeah, 8.5%, 8.75% over the last few years, despite all these challenges. Phenomenal achievement. The captains of these growth, some of them are here in this call, but the industry continues to remain very, very resilient. Whether it is established products to standard markets, the developed markets, like, for example, North America, as somebody pointed, Ashish pointed, I think, continues to remain very, very significant, 33% of the overall exports that we do out from here. Europe, close second at 32. Asian markets, they of course continue. But every market, if you look at, we have only continued to grow 5%, 12% in these markets. Yeah, or be it niche products, like you mentioned, I think, Vinodji, we've got performance enhancements products, even automotive components now being available on online platforms. Customers going beyond B2B model and exploring B2C models, where especially in the aftermarket segment, I think we are seeing a significant amount of traction there on the ground because we're connected to customers who ship small, medium, large packages, all the way up to ocean containers. We serve them all. Yeah, and therefore we see the market really adapting to the situations in the market and adapting itself to the various challenges that are coming in on, at the same time leveraging on the right opportunities that are available. I think Ashish also mentioned about the markets such as Latin America, for example, Brazil, Argentina. Yeah, these are also where there is significant amount of development growth that is seen and being capitalized, and that's, I think, the area that we are coming in terms of supporting these customers, particularly in the last 12 to say for 18 months of time. The supply chains have been interrupted or disrupted so much that we could never commit in terms of the time that we could get our products into the US market. Yeah, the times have doubled, the prices have doubled. So certainty in terms of transit, predictability in terms of costs. I think these are two significant challenges that the trade has actually been suffering. Players like us, including many of our others, have tried and pitched into the best to help exporters in that stage, and the trade has embraced this very, very, very well. Yeah, those are some of my initial thoughts, Vinodji.
Excellent, thank you. I'm going to go back to Atulji. Atulji, you talked about the fact that there is a lot that the government again needs to do. What sort of an outline can we offer to the government in terms of what is required to be done in terms of creating a focus specifically for maybe thousands and thousands of MSMEs to enter into export market, not just look at the local market that we have in terms of as OEMs or suppliers to bigger companies? Atulji, can you hear us, sir?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I'm able to listen to you. Yes.
So I was asking you, sir, you talked about the fact that the government needs to do some things urgently and some things specifically to support majority of Indian manufacturers which are in the auto component sector to enter into international markets. So what sort of support is the Indian manufacturer looking for specifically, sir?
Look, the manufacturing is a process where an entrepreneur has to struggle a lot right from raw material procurement till the recovery of his money from the customer. The complete process is the process everywhere. The ease of doing business what our government has been highlighting, that needs to be actually implemented on the ground. We don't need above that. Whatever is written in the paper, whatever is the theory which is being published, it needs to be implemented. That's all is required. I hope, Vimalji, I'm
No,
able
you are
to
correct. You're correct.
communicate.
I'm going to go over to Kiran sir
Yeah.
also.
So
Ask because he has.
when you go for RM procurement, a small scale industry is exploited at that level. When you go for the export market, getting the orders from the customers, after you get the orders, you don't become competitive because somebody is getting the able to nurture the schemes of the government, which are within the hidden clauses. If you take their manuals online or published manuals, they are in the hidden clauses like freight subsidies, like the automation subsidies, like different. There are n number of schemes are there, but those n number of schemes, the ZDD is to be implemented with the gold ZDD. You get some benefits. There are lot of hidden things. That itself is a theory. An entrepreneur gets involved into those things. Those simplification is required. Means I don't wanted to specify one point. Overall infrastructure needs to be supportive to the entrepreneur.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go over to Kiran sir. Kiran sir, Atulji was talking about a wide gamut of things that need to be put in place. What's your perspective, sir?
Well, he's right, because there are a lot of schemes which will benefit exporters. Again, hidden in layers of policy and documents. For example, today, all the export promotion councils and the state level exporting bodies, they offer what is under the umbrella of the MDA, or the Market Development Assistance Scheme, several benefits to exporters, whether it is reimbursement of courier charges for samples, whether it is container freight subsidy, whether it is participation in overseas trade fairs, even getting an ISO certification is funded by this MDA scheme. So there are a lot of possibilities for SMEs to avail of these benefits. But as Atulji said, the process of getting the benefits is a little cumbersome, and it involves a time lag, it involves a lot of paperwork. So simplification of this would give easy access to support to MSMEs. Another aspect is, like, if you want to be export worthy, if you want to match global standards, you need to have the right technology, you need to upgrade to the right levels of technology. And a few years ago, there was a technology upgradation fund which the central government had provided for SMEs, which they could avail through their respective banks from whom they were taking capital goods loans. But unfortunately, that subsidy is now discontinued. So, these are bits and pieces. Now, for example, a recent legislation under the Income Tax Law 43BH, where, MSMEs have to be paid within 45 days. Now, again, MSMEs in India are buying and paying within the same cycle of 45 days. But what about exporters? Exporters don't get their money in 45 days, and neither can the government control the inflow of money from the clients overseas to within 45 days. So we are looking at 90 to 120 and even sometimes 180 days credit terms. And if you're going to pay your vendors within 45 days, the front end is completely unmanaged and the back end has to be managed. So these are anomalies, I think, and the speed at which the government reacts to these anomalies is very crucial, because while the government is being apprised by various exporting bodies, including maybe forums like yours, to address these issues which are making exports less competitive, the conversion of thought into action is with a time lag, and that is what harms the exporter. Again, there are, as Atulji said, there are a lot of schemes for different category of exporters, which are hidden in layers of policy documents. But awareness of that through maybe state government bodies or even central government advertising, reaching out to exporters. Exporters are all listed, so it's not that, you don't have a database for that. So if exporters are apprised of the changes that the government keeps making to help exporters take advantage of, I think that entire thought process must change into making things easier for the exporter.
Thank you. In fact, I completely agree with you there, and we have been pushing the government on and off on making things easier at the same time, while also improving compliance, the processes and all of that on the other end. I'm going to go over to Poonam ji. Poonam ma'am, आपने और अतुल जी ने भी बात करी थी competitiveness की, कि भाई MSMEs कॉम्पिटिटिव कैसे बनेंगे, या अभी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है कि भाई आप ESG कंप्लायंट, जैसे किरण सर की कंपनी है, वो वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट ESG कंप्लायंट कंपनीज हैं इंडिया में, तो सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस और ये सब की बात हो रही है ग्लोबल मार्केट्स में. कितना कॉम्पिटिटिव है ये इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर, और अगर नहीं है तो गवर्नमेंट को क्या करना चाहिए उसके लिए?
आई थिंक इनको एक टाइम लाइन तो होना चाहिए. मीन्स शॉर्टन द टाइम. आई एम ऑलवेज सेइंग कि जो भी कंप्लायंसेस हैं जो जरूरी है, मीन्स को उनको करना ही है मैन्युफैक्चरर को, दे हैव टू. तो उनका एक टाइम होना चाहिए कि मतलब उसमें उनको मिल जाना चाहिए. देयर इज नो कि हम लोग बहुत चेजअप कर रहे हैं, फॉलो अप चल रहा है, सो मेनी थिंग्स की आफ्टर 15 डेज, आफ्टर 30 डेज, इस तरह का है. तो फिर उसमें एक हम लोगों को मतलब आप कह सकते हैं कि उनको रुकावट आ सकती है. जो आगे बढ़ना चाह रहे हैं उनको उस वजह से रुकावट, बिकॉज वी हैव टू बी ऑब्जर्व कंप्लायंसेस आल्सो. विदाउट कंप्लायंसेस पूरे नहीं होने से हम लोग नहीं कर पाएंगे उनको. तो ये सब चीजें हैं जो उनको थोड़ा सा उस पे अगर वो अच्छी तरह ध्यान दे करके और उसको करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली बहुत पोटेंशियल है. इंडिया में बहुत पोटेंशियल है और एवरीवेयर इट इज डिमांडेबल है. मतलब सभी लोग डिमांड उनको उनका डिमांड को काफी करते हैं. और हम लोग की जो इस वजह से करते हैं बिकॉज कॉस्ट तो है ही, इफेक्टिवनेस उनका, इसलिए वो देते हैं. क्वालिटी ऑल्सो वी आर ऑब्जर्विंग ऑल द थिंग्स एंड देन आपके उनके जो हम लोगों की डिलीवरी है वो भी. तो ओनली थिंग हम लोग यहाँ पे फंस जाते हैं कि मतलब जो हम लोग के कंप्लायंसेस वगैरह कुछ जो टाइम पे होना चाहिए. बिकॉज व्हेन आई अप्लाइंग द दिस आप लोगो कह सकते हैं, वो इट ऑल्सो टेक्स द 45 days, तो छोटी सी, दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल थिंग, मगर वो एक है कि अब आप बोलेंगे तो उसको मतलब कि वी आर गोइंग थ्रू द दिस ब्रोकर, वी आर टेक द हेल्प फ्रॉम द ब्रोकर्स जो भी ये सब काम करते हैं. लेकिन वो मतलब टाइम का उनका कोई फिक्स नहीं है कि
जी.
कब मिलेगा. so many employees are मतलब they are working in account and admin, they are chasing up कि भाई कब हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता, और we are still waiting that things. so this is the things. थोड़ा सा मतलब उसको ठीक करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली हम लोग बहुत आगे जा सकते हैं.
Ji. I'm going to go over to Ashish ji. Ashish ji, again on competitiveness, how competitive do you think the Indian manufacturer is today compared to, when you are dealing with multiple companies that you are selling to or trying to push Indian products to? Do you feel that we are quite competitive, and how does the world see us compared to any other nation that is also into automotive parts or is also competing with us?
Yeah, I feel we are highly competitive because when it comes to technology, you see Apple coming to our India, producing it in India. I mean, obviously it's not automotive, but if I talk about technology particularly, it's different parts of the world with different technology. Then if I talk about specifically about automotive, like there are different companies, private label companies who are focusing and shifting their industries in India, producing in India. If I talk about our company, like first, we have opened up a new factory in Rajkot because of the talent pool that we have over here. And obviously with the low cost automation that we are doing currently by ourselves. So right now we do not need to go to buy some automotive machines in outside the world. We produce it by ourselves. Like why PM Modi is obviously he's promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we are doing that. Be it automotive, be it aerospace, be it telecommunication. So I feel we are highly competitive compared to other parts of the world. And that's why the people are investing in us, not only in the production, but they are outsourcing the products to manufacture in India.
Excellent. I'm going to go over to Mr. Kannan. You must be talking to your counterparts about the possibilities and the potential in the Indian market. What, in your perspective or data set that you must be discussing internally, which sort of regions are the most prominent when it comes to potential for Indian products, and which sort of markets do you feel are highly conducive for buying Indian products, Kannan sir?
So I think as far as auto components, thanks Vinod. As far as auto components is concerned, I think the consumption markets have predominantly been rather the same over a long period of time. Of course, there are new destinations which are obviously developing, as Ashish pointed out in the earlier discussions. Yeah, these continue to have a greater acceptance. We spoke about the China plus, we spoke about possibly the US plus, etc. All of these together with the amount of initiatives now, FAME is something that we are all aware of. Several initiatives that are driving towards empowering this sector for growth, positioning the trade for capitalizing the kind of opportunities that we're seeing. From 22 to 30 billion in 2026 and to about 100 billion. That's the kind of export targets that we are looking at so in the next 5-6 years, we are talking about a 4 to 5-fold increase in terms of exports from India, particularly for the auto component sector. These clusters that we have seen in terms of automotive sector across India, each of these clusters, if you see is buoyant with activity, both in terms of expansion of existing capacity as well as in terms of creation of new capacities. As Ashish mentioned, we've got classic examples here, Poonam, Dayton, the collaborations that are happening on the knowledge transfer side, the confidence on the country in terms of delivering. Our positioning also, in terms of proximity to the Middle East market, Far East markets, European markets, the access is much faster. And therefore, I think with the stability in the government, of course, there's a lot of things on paper, I agree, but there's a lot of intent to put things on paper. Yes, I do agree that, on the e-commerce facilitation, which you talked about, Vinodji, on express clearances, right? Yeah, what we see in the Europe is something that we are trying to, the government together with the trade bodies like yourselves, we're trying to bring in a number of these facilitations into this country also on the express side. Yeah, the government is in a lot of consultation with the express couriers. Recently there was a contingent from the Indian side to one of our large, hubs in Cologne to see what sort of warehousing facilities. We are talking about integrated development. We're talking about logistics parks. So I think all of this are going to be certainly placing as well. And with so much happening, there is any prospective market cannot shut their eyes on India. That is for sure. And with the resilience that we have shown, especially for this particular segment is grown, despite the sharpness in terms of the shortcomings in terms of the lackluster demand in the domestic sales from PV, despite the infrastructure challenges that we've seen which has prohibited the EV offtake. Yeah. Despite that, I think the growth element continues to remain. And therefore, within what's happening within our organization, UPS organization, pretty large, old organization, 1907, that's long back the history goes. India happens to be a very significant market. Outside the US, India is the biggest. We have the biggest, technology center based out of here in Chennai, where most of the IT applications, the innovations happen for the group out from here. The investments continue to remain not just with us, but many players in terms of the multinational as well as the Indian players. The port infrastructure development that we've seen is second to none that we're seeing here. So therefore, we are definitely, this is a market to reckon with, and that's the kind of messaging that is there. Of course, we are on a continuous journey to help trade, overcome some of the barriers, some of the challenges, and rise up to meeting the demands that are there and capitalize out of it, Vinodji.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Kiran sir. Kiran sir, before we close for the day, I wanted you to leave us, all the viewers that are going to see this program with what is it that an Indian MSME should do in order to look at this huge opportunity? Which are the steps that one needs to look at, and what sort of focus should he have on the international market?
Yeah, I mean, it is to start with, I would say that it's easier to export than to supply to the domestic market. So it's a myth that exporting is difficult. It isn't. You just need to get certain basic registrations in place, like the IEC code, and you have to have a company to start doing business, and thereafter it's all about understanding, and like they have a KYC when you open an account, it is a KYM, know your market, which is important. So it's a step-by-step process. I think if you have a product already in place, it is not necessary that that product will sell in global markets, but the technology you use may be applicable to making a product for those markets. So identifying the product category first, and then the market. And again, to be able to do that today, you have access to information on the internet for pretty much everything. Focusing on the product category that you have and the applicability of that product is very important. That means attending focused fairs initially as an explorer. Secondly, understanding and identifying your product of choice, and then building a range. So it is important and very imperative that you build a range for a specific market before you try and sell. Nobody is going to come to you to buy 5% of what they need or 2% of what they need in that category. So if I'm selling, say, plastic products, I must have at least a wholesome range of products to be able to sell to a customer who's buying from my kind of category of products. Secondly, there are 4-5 things that are very crucial for an exporter to build a relationship with a client overseas. Of course, once you've identified your client, your market, and all of that, to sustain in the export process that your company is engaged in, there are 4-5 things, as I said. One, communication is very crucial to establishing a relationship in the export market. Top class communication. For example, we deal with geographies which are 5-6 hours behind our standard time and 10 hours ahead of our standard time. We have designated people who will address real-time emails and communication with clients, because they want, I mean, if somebody writes to you on a Friday morning from Australia, by the time you get to reply to them, it's already Friday night. So you're having a time lag, which some clients probably would appreciate if you replied real time. So communication is very crucial. The range, as I said, is very crucial. Third, quality, consistent quality. That means you cannot compromise on the level of quality. There's too much competition out there for you to make mistakes, and you will lose that client. 4, of course, is that on-time deliveries is very crucial. That means if you get an order for 20, 30, 40 components, you must have a very high fill rate. You must supply all of them in one go, and you must adhere to the time schedule. Today, we sit in India, which is logistically challenged as far as the Western markets is concerned, especially now with the geopolitical issues, the time lag is more. So if you have to calculate the time that you want to deliver to your clients. Very crucial for you to do that, because time of delivery today, nobody carries very large inventories, and therefore delivering on time is very crucial. So these are aspects. And of course, finally, you must continue to learn from your client, because your client's needs are need to be customized, whether it is packaging, whether it is size of a pallet, for example, or the kind of box that you want to supply to him. All of these are inputs you must imbibe from your client and adapt to your manufacturing and packaging process. So these are various stages of how an exporter can sustain this. And it's a myth that Indian manufacturing is not up to global standards or not competitive. We export to China, and they admit that whatever products they used to make for the automotive sector in the rubber category as ours 15 years ago, they are no longer competitive. So they are happily buying from us and continuing to increase volumes with us. There are areas where they are competitive, where they've invested huge amounts on tools and machines, which nobody would like to reinvent in other parts of the world. So there they are competitive. And of course, there are some areas where they get subsidies, so we cannot question that.
Excellent. So that was perfect, as always. I'm going to request any of others, other panelists that want to add to what Mr. Kiran Chopra has just talked about, in terms of what the Indian MSME needs to focus on and look at. Maybe Ashish, Poonam ji, Mr. Mukhi, or Kannan. Any of you that feel that there's something that you need to add, so that we can support this MSME into becoming a better exporter, better manufacturer.
Can't agree more, really. In fact, I think, these words of wisdom really coming from Mr. Kiran, I'm sure must help the MSME sector. And I'm very confident that they're very paying very close attention to his comments. Communication, no need to underline its criticality. I think when we stand close to our customers, then the journey is only, full of success is bound to be. So fully agree with what Mr. Kiran mentioned. Time is essence. I think the fundamental element is about getting parts at the right time to your customers. It could be a small sample out of a garment manufacturing unit out here, or it could be the finished product which is getting into an automotive somewhere, or a Jaguar Land Rover somewhere. I think getting the parts right in time is, I think, going to be the tolerance on the intolerance on in terms of failed delivery or in terms of time is going to cost businesses, which includes shipper here as well as the consignee on the other side, is going to be very expensive. The opportunity loss cost is going to be very high, and therefore time plays a critical role, and therefore all supply chains have stood completely aligned in order to deliver this critical element of time. Yeah, I mean, that's something that growing MSMEs should keep in their mind while approaching businesses for a long-term sustained success. That's the only piece that I wanted to add.
Excellent. Perfect. I'm going to go over to Mukhi sir. Atulji, would you like to add anything to, leaving a thought in the minds of our MSMEs about what they need to do?
Yeah. See, I have recently started exploring the export market in my segment, the balancing weights. What we have found, the quality what we are producing in India is much better what China is supplying to the world and what is available in the American market. Our products are much more better, and the means we felt that very proud of our quality what we are producing and what the world is getting in the market. And more than that, our prices are very competitive to them. This is a very critical thing. So the strength of our Indian entrepreneurs is really half nurtured. That nurturing of the Indian entrepreneur skills will help our nation to grow in the international market and, of course, boost the economy of India in the global standards.
Excellent, sir. Poonam ma'am.
I don't think any have to be say to MSME because earlier I already told and so many panelists has given their thoughts on me. So only thing is that some simplify it is still need in this. Only thing is that because we have all the things we have, technology and the quality and delivery, everything we have. So we can do the better always.
Excellent, ma'am. Thank you for your confidence. Ashish ji.
Yes.
Yeah, I think one of the points that I didn't hear was about financial management and risk mitigation for exports, which is extremely crucial because, like, for some of the examples that I can give you is of like what we do is hedging, or we have some insurance in place. So some of these factors are critical if you are doing an export business. Whatever innovation on anything you do at the end, it's the money that matters, that you are running a business for gaining profits. So you have to secure that part of the portion as well. And I think MSMEs should also focus on R&D and innovation. Like if you are supplying some components to particular region, you have to understand the nature of the market and as well as the product. Like if you are going to Poland or like the colder areas, or if you are going to hotter areas, what are the products and how it caters to the needs.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I've got an amazing panel today. I'm sure everybody that is going to listen, that's listening now or is going to listen to this webinar on various platforms is going to feel really elated in the time in the sense of inputs that have come out from this program. I sincerely thank every panelist that has been here and that has supported this initiative to help and engage Indian MSMEs to start exporting as much as they can. So with that, thank you everyone, and back to Najma, please.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you all the esteemed panelists that we had today for this amazing session and your valuable insights shared with our audience about the export opportunities available for auto components sector. And today we have the last session or last webinar under the India Exports International Business Week. And I hope that the knowledge shared by our experts, panelists, empowers all the audience to confidently tap into global markets and elevate India's reputation as a leader in high quality auto components manufacturing. India Exports is committed to supporting the future of Indian MSMEs by offering target knowledge, practical tools, and guidance across various sectors. Today was the last session, but all the webinars will be available on our YouTube channel, the India SME Forum, and you can watch it, and you can also offer it to the entrepreneurs from your network, and you can motivate them to watch it and get benefit from this sector-specific webinars that we had with the thoughts and ideas and advices of the experts of each of the sectors. For more information about the program and then the next program that we have, which is called Start Exporting in 8 Weeks, you can visit our website at IndiaXports.com and register for the program. The links of all these webinars also will be available on the website and on our YouTube channel, as I told you. For any sort of information, questions, queries that you would like to connect with our team, you can always write a mail to itt@indiasmeforum.org. And for getting any information, additional resources about our initiatives at India SME Forum, you can always look at our website, indiasmeforum.org. With that, thank you again, all the panelists, all the speakers, and all the audience who listened to this panel today. Have a great day and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.